How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is currently running its excellent end-of-the-year deal sale, and there's a lot of deals available. We'll be highlighting the games under the price of $5. Now, obviously, there's the PlayStation Indie sale as well. That sale has a ton of deals as well. A lot of games I'm not as familiar with, but a lot that I am as well. We'll cover that in a video over this weekend because there's a lot of great deals under $5 on that as well. But without further ado, let's get into this one. A lot of great stuff here under $5 as well, and let's start off with Mad Max for $4.99. You know, Mad Max is a game that saw a mostly positive reception. Like, it was a game that was comfortably in the 7 out of 10 range, and I think a lot of people just saw it as a game they didn't want to spend $60 on. It was a game that came out the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5, both being big open world titles. Most people gravitated towards MGS5 even if they weren't big Metal Gear guys. Mad Max, on the other hand, still offered a game that was rather good. The combat is rather satisfying, the story gets pretty interesting by the end, and performance-wise, it runs really, really well. I'm definitely with the camp that said that this game wasn't worth $60, but now, over 7 years later, go in with tempered expectations on what to expect out of an open world game, but I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with Mad Max for $5. Okay, next up we have Just Cause 3 XXL Edition, 86% off for $4.19. Just Cause 3 is just a game that's very easy to enjoy. I mean, maybe not at launch when this game was a performance train wreck, but now, you know, if you want to get into an open world game that's no nonsense, it's not going to have an emotionally gripping narrative, but what it is going to have is a game that you can kind of mentally check out and just enjoy an open world, fast-paced, action-heavy experience. A lot of explosions, a lot of gunfiring, grappling hooking. Just a lot of fun to be had, and with the XXL Edition, you do get some bonus content, including the Air, Land, and Sea Expansion Pass, Weaponized Vehicle Pack, Explosive Weapon Pack, Reaper Missile Mech, and a rifle as well. So all of that for $4.19 is pretty good. If you want to get the base game for just $3, that's not a bad buy either. Whatever route you go, it's going to be a game you're going to have a pretty good time with, as long as, you know, keep tempered expectations on the story and the narrative and the characters and things like that, because you're not going to get too gripped on that. But as far as gameplay, top notch for Just Cause 3. Next up, on the opposite side of things, something that is engrossing from a narrative standpoint, Metro Redux. This includes both Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light. Metro Last Light is my favorite across the three games, but 2033 was damn good as well, and 2033 actually never had a release on PlayStation platforms prior to this collection. 2033 came out on 360 and PC, if I recall correctly. Last Light came out on PS3, but Last Light on the PS3 and 360, yeah, not to write home about, to say the least. But with this collection, they are up from a technical standpoint from their original release, and what they are very, very atmospheric first-person shooter with incredibly compelling and emotional narratives as well. No multiplayer here. Yes, there are first-person shooters, but strictly from a single-player standpoint, these games are great. Not super lengthy either. You can complete them in around 8 to 10 hours, but man, if you want a game that you can get in, have a very, very gripping experience with, and then move on to the next title, because again, these games aren't super lengthy, you're going to get exactly that with Metro Redux, and I think for $4.50 this is a great collection. And one you guys may know I often recommend, and then after you beat these two games, you can check out Metro Exodus as well. Next up, we have Dragon's Crown Pro, 80% off for $3.99. This is a great game done by a great studio in Vanillaware, and I think with Vanillaware titles, the one thing that's going to immediately stand out with all of their games is the art style. It's an incredibly gorgeous game to look at. You know, as far as how it compares to other Vanillaware titles, it's my least favorite. You know, I was a big fan of Odin Sphere, big fan of Warmastered the Demon's Blade, and a big fan of 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Dragon's Crown Pro still offers a lot to like. It's got solid beat-em-up style gameplay, action RPG with a bit of replayability as well, and it still has that trademark visual style, still has a great soundtrack, and yeah, pretty solid all things considered. And probably the biggest drawing element to the game, it's $4. That's a great price. But Vanillaware, come on, at this point, you gotta get that Muramasa the Demon's Blade on PlayStation 4. Get it on Xbox, get it on Switch. I don't know what they're waiting for on that, because I think it would do rather well. But for now, you can check out Dragon's Crown. If you find 13 Sentinels at a good price, check that out. And Odin Sphere Left Tracer is a good one as well. Next up, we have Deus Ex Mankind Divided, 85% off for $4.49. Another game where it's unfortunate that its predecessor in Human Revolution is not readily available on PlayStation platforms, but Mankind Divided is a darn good follow-up. One of the more compelling main characters that you're gonna find, a very, very engrossing story that unfortunately with Mankind Divided kind of gets its legs cut from underneath it by the end, but Hopefully, with the rumblings that there is a new Deus Ex title in development, we can get some, you know, more progression into the story and the world of Deus Ex. But $4.49 for Mankind Divided is quite good, and there is a digital deluxe edition for $6.74 if you do want to check that out. But solid pickup here, all things considered. Next up, we have Darksiders Warmastered Edition, 80% off for $3.99. Solid action RPG here. Wasn't crazy about some of the puzzles, and obviously from a technical standpoint, this is a game that came out almost 13 years ago at this point, so keep your expectations in line as far as that goes. But a quality action-adventure game with a pretty unique setting, a pretty unique cast of characters, and overall for $4, I think it's a solid pickup. Next up, we have Metal Gear Solid 5, the definitive experience, $3.99. Honestly, across every deal that's running right now, this might be the best pickup that you can get. $4 for MGS5 is just tremendous, and you get Ground Zeroes as well, and a ton of bonus DLC content, 2 extra missions, additional weapons, and various in-game cosmetic items, things of that nature. $4 is just ridiculous, and MGS5 had its fair share of controversy when it initially came out. That's kind of gone to the wayside, and nowadays, if you go into MGS5, people are just going to be assessing it for what it is, and that's a damn good open-world action-adventure stealth title. And the narrative is still there. Absolutely, it's still there. Not told in the same way as a lot of other Metal Gear games, but listen to the cassette tapes. I found myself listening to them, like, quite a few times, and you do get pretty immersed into the world and what's going on. So $4 for the definitive experience, I think, is a great pickup, and you're getting a sizable amount of content here for your dollar. Next up, we have Sleeping Dogs, the definitive edition, 85% off for $4.49. This is just a ridiculous deal for a great game. You know, it didn't get as much love when it initially came out, which is so unfortunate. Square Enix never followed up with a sequel on this game, which I think if a Sleeping Dogs 2 got greenlit and it came out, you know, sometime in the near future, I do think it would do rather well commercially, because this is a game that's kind of developed that fan base over the years of people just through word of mouth saying, hey, Sleeping Dogs is a really great game, you should check it out. And I feel like there is an audience for a follow-up to Sleeping Dogs. Nonetheless, this gives you a lot of content with all the bonus content, and you get a pretty mature and gritty story here with a great main character as well, and solid hand-to-hand combat, crime story, $4.49, great buy here. Next up, we have Dishonored Definitive Edition, 75% off for $4.99. Another awesome pickup. Dishonored is a game that came out all the way back in, I want to say, December of 2012, and it's just aged kind of gracefully over the last decade. I'm not saying it was a technical masterclass, it kind of never was, but it had an art style that has just aged really, really well, and I think if you go into it and still play it today for the first time, you'll find an immersive and engrossing experience. Great story here, a variety of ways you can tackle the game, whether you want to take the more action-heavy approach, or you want to take the more silent, calculated approach. I feel like most people are going to find the latter more rewarding, but that gives you reason to replay the game as well. With this version, you do get some DLC content as well. $5 is a great buy. I remember picking Dishonored up back in December of 2012 pretty vividly. It was at a Target, and I paid the full $60 for it. But now, you can get it for $5, and you'll get the bonus DLC content, so there you go with that. Next up, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, 84% off for $4.79. Tremendous deal on a very, very challenging action RPG that definitely won't be for everyone. You've got a big world to explore, and on top of that, this version comes with the Dark Arisen expansion that does extend the game quite a bit. You know, it's not for everyone, definitely. I've seen people say that they got into this game and it's just a little bit too difficult. They're just getting mollywopped by it. And yeah, I'm not into more challenging action RPGs like this all the time, but I feel like if you stick with this game, there is a lot of enjoyment to be had. Visually, it was pretty good, and really the issue with this game on the PlayStation 3 was that from a technical standpoint, it left a lot to be desired. From a performance standpoint, I should say. Visually, it's good. It's not even blow away, I would say, though, but it had some real technical limitations on PlayStation 3. That obviously is remedied with this version on the PS4. $4.79, great buy on this, and a good bit of content you're going to get with a good bit of replayability. And lastly, want to mention Castlevania, Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood. I mean, it's two pretty iconic games, especially in the case of Symphony of the Night. These are classic titles. Symphony of the Night was originally, I believe, a PS1 game. Rondo of Blood, I don't even know what platform it originally came out on. I believe it was a part of the PSP release of Castlevania, the Dracula X Chronicles. Yeah, that was the way I played it back in 07, and I feel like that was the way most people played it over here stateside, and I think it was like a PC Engine release or something like that initially, but nonetheless, you got that game as well. But Symphony of the Night, obviously the drawing card here at $4 for both titles, I think is pretty good. Just again, classic games, not you know, necessarily going to be modernized to a great extent, but you know what you're getting yourself into with this one for $4. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a ton of great deals across the board as a part of the end of the year sale. A lot of good stuff to get into, and you know, I know a lot of you guys probably own a lot of these games, but there's always new people checking out the channel, and these are some of the go-tos I would recommend at under $5. So that'll do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.